Tsotsoka hoe oral tradition.
The oral tradition was simply all of these stories from especially the Pentateuch that were handed down by word of mouth.
Oral tradition, tsy nadikako le izy teo fa oral tradition zany dia reny tantara tsy voarakitra an-tsoratra fa tantara izay voambara amin'ny vava fotsiny. What did you say about it?
That it was handed down for generations and generations.
Dia nandeha en génération le izy ry tantara am-bava zany mipasy en génération ho an'ny taranaka faramandimby.
And sometimes we think that, oh, well, that must not be very precise.
Dia ndraindray tsika mieritreritra hoe satria tantara am-bava le izy zany izay mandeha amin'ny taranaka faramandimby mety tsy azo antoka.
But sometimes it is more correct than even the written tradition.
Kanefa ndraindray koa kanefany azo antoka kokoa raha le teny am-bava no reo zay voarakitra an-tsoratra ndraindray.
Because they would have storytellers.
Ny antony tsinona dia zareo manana mpitantara, le hoe tena olona zay hoe mpitantara zany.
And the storyteller would remember all of the legends and myths.
Ary io mpitantara io dia mahalala ny momba le mythe ny angano sy ny sisa zany mahalala le izy en détail zany le mpitantara io.
Sometimes the storyteller would travel to different tribes.
Ndraindray io mpitantara io dia mitety tanàna maro samihafa.
Sometimes all the people would gather together and the storyteller would stand on a hill and tell the stories.
Ndraindray kanefany mivory daholo ny vahoaka dia le mpitantara mitantara ny tantara eo amin'ny tendrombohitra na toerana avo.
The storyteller would also take students.
Io mpitantara io dia manana ny mpianany ihany koa.
And he would teach all of these students exactly the same stories.
Ary io mpitantara io dia mampianatra an'ireo mpianany ny tantara rehetra ihany koa.
And once they learned the stories perfectly,
dia rehefa hain'ireo mpianan'ireo zany ny tantara parfaitement tsisy klema,
then they would start to take on students of their own.
Dia ireo mpianatra ireo indray no lasa maka mpianany ihany koa, lasa le mpianatra ireo indray zany lasa mpitantara dia recruter na maka mpianany ihany koa.
There are still cultures today who use these storytellers.
Hatramin'izao mbola misy kolotsaina mampiasa an'io hoe manana mpitantara io.
In Iceland, they have a great tradition of these, they call them saga singers.
Ohatra zao any Iceland zany ny anarany, mbola manana olona zareo atsony zareo hoe saga.
Yeah, saga singers.
Saga singer.
And a saga is a long story of a legend.
Dia ny dikany hoe saga dia tantara lava be mombana zavatra anankiray. Dia singers moa mpihira.
Because they would chant the story.
Satria zany tsy tantarainy fotsiny le tantara fa hirainy.
That was what helped them to remember the stories, was a certain rhythm.
Zay ny nanampy azy zareo, zay ny tena nanampy azy ahatadidy ny tantara. Satria rehefa mihira dia misy rythme arahany.
One of the most famous stories that was passed that way was the story of the Iliad.
Tantara malaza izay nihiraina ohatr'izay zao dia ny tantaran'ny Iliad.
And the poet was named Homer, who created it.
Ary ilay poeta izay namorona azy dia antsoina hoe Homer ny anarany, Homer.
And when we read the Iliad, we can see certain rhythms to it and certain choruses almost.
Rehefa mamaky ny Iliada isika dia hitantsika ao ny rythme sy ny ohatrany hoe misy chorale zany mihitsiny ary.
So the oral tradition was used by almost every ancient culture.
Ka io oral tradition io na koa ny hoe tantara ambava dia nampiasain'ny culture tranainy taloha daholo zany io fampiasan'ny zareo taloha izy io zany.
The same thing probably happened in Madagascar, right? Because you didn't have a written language for a long time. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Zany koa angamba hozy izy mety nitranga tany Madagasikara satria tamin'izany nisy fotoana mbola tsy nanana fomba antsoratra isika ka marina angamba zany izay no nahatonga an'ireny angano sy arirarira ireny.
So in Madagascar, you would be able to trust the legends and the stories that were passed down because that was what your culture focused on, right?
Tsika zany zao dia afaka hoe natoky an'ireny tantara izay tantaraina fahagola reny zany satria izay ny fomba nisy teo Madagasikara zany dia.
And in the ancient world, in ancient Israel, they were okay with the oral tradition.
Ny Israel tranainy zany tsy nampaninina ny zareo mihitsy izay zavatra zay. Izay hoe oral tradition zay hoe tantara ambava.
For hundreds of years, they relied on the oral tradition.
Ary tena niantoka sy no mpampana zany niantoka tena tanteraka amin'izay oral tradition zay zany ny antehatra zay tena nahatoky an'izay tantara ambava zay ny Israel tranainy.
But when they started to worry about the survival of their culture, that's when they started to write.
Fa taty aoriana zany rehefa natahotra zareo sy nanay ny hoavin'ny taranany dia zay zareo zay vao nanomboka nanoratra an'ilay izy antsoratra.
When they were in Egypt, some of their storytellers were dying in slavery.
Ohatra zao tamin'ny zareo tany Egypta, reo ny mpitantarany dia maty tany Egypta.
When they were back in Israel, in the land of Israel, then they were suffering invasions from other countries.
Dia when they went back to Israel? Nohon niverina tany Israel ndraika nefa zareo dia avy eo nisy tonga ny fahavalo na tonga ny vahiny hafa avy any ivelany.
Then they suffered a great invasion or terrible invasion from Assyria.
Tonga ny fahavalo ny Assyrianina.
And Assyria was one of the most destructive powers of the ancient world.
Ary ny Assyrianina ny tena anisany mpandrava tamin'izany tranainy tontolo tranainy zany.
And they were in the 800s.
Zareo dia tany amin'ny 800 BC tany nisy.
And it was starting in the 800s that the great writings began in Israel.
Nanomboka tamin'io taona 800 io no nanomboka ny fanoratana.